Hello everybody, my name is Christian Quick, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about all of the major things that happened in 3.0. This is talking about the update to 3.0.1. It is simply a hotfix. There is only two types of things that have been added, but most of them are just critical stuff because there was some duplication, there was some immortality stuff, there was just a big mess. And so after a month I said, let me get all your bugs that you guys all find out, because it was the most popular season so far, season 7. And thank you guys to everyone collectively finding all the bugs for me to squash, and hopefully we have a much better season moving forward until we get season 8. But for now, let's get into all of those changes and talk about how they all work and stuff like that. So I'm in a jungle, and the first thing I want to talk about is the changes that have happened to fix the cocoa beans, or chocolate milk. So the thing about cocoa beans is that you'd break them, and then to make chocolate milk you would put your cocoa beans on top of your chocolate milk, or your regular milk to make chocolate milk, but this would duplicate the bucket. What did I do to fix this? So let's take my cocoa beans out here, and if I just simply put them as such in the stone cutter, I can get something called cocoa powder. This is a brand new item, and you would think, hey, does this go on top of here? No, because that would cause the same issue, silly. I made this new item to introduce custom crafting, and so what you need to do is you need 2 items, and you're going to need them. It doesn't matter which position they're in, so don't worry about it. And then you just need to shift once those items are in your hand. Now you'll notice it didn't custom craft them. Well, if I hit an entity real quick, that is one of the effects that will initialize a class. So I did a thing in the world, but I didn't do something significant enough to give me a class. So I have normie, meaning just the normal class. It's nothing, it just allows me to do things like this. Boop. Chocolate milk. So I hit the shift key and chocolate milk has been initialized. This is so far how I'm going to decide how to do custom crafting, but it's just how things are moving forward. Coming out of the jungle and into the desert, there is a brand new type of lake that can be found called a quicksand lake. Now, if I have myself a bucket, I can place the chocolate milk. I can scoop up, and we have a quicksand bucket. This has been the longest bug in the game, and we're talking about quicksand. This is because I was trying to make it a block, and it makes more sense that it be a fluid. How does it work? Well, if I start falling, I'll start sinking, and as soon as my head gets submerged, I will start taking damage. So be cautious of this kind of stuff. Another thing that has been recoded, however, is all of the modded entities. So I used to use GeckoLib, and I would depend on their code and how they did it to make all the entities, but now I am using Minecraft's code, which means you no longer need GeckoLib in of your modded dependencies. So all you need is my mod, the API, and Fabric installer. That's practically it. So that's pretty good for me. If I go in Creative and look at the signs, this is for the other thing that I had added and fixed at the same time. So I have recoded all of the signs that are in the game. But in addition, Minecraft's 1.20 added hanging signs. So I have signs and hanging signs, and both of their variants, and each one have 2 variants. So this is your regular sign, you have your wall sign, you have a hanging sign, and your hanging down sign. So here are the 4 signs you have, and they still have their block breaking up particles just fine. So that is all that. And then we also have the other types. So all of the current wood types have a sign and hanging sign variant. Alright, this next change is going to be considering the life armor. So this is almost now like consuming armor. So we do know that if you put on a piece, you will get absorption. For every piece that you have on, we know that from the update that it's going to say how many pieces you have, and it will give you that effect. So having the helmet on, it would give me absorption 1. Having 2 on, it's going to refresh, and it'll now give me absorption 2. Now what you'll notice is that this stuff is taking durability. So what's going to happen is I have 2 pieces of armor on, so you'll see that the durability is 558 out of 560. It's going to count how many pieces of armor I have on and take out that much durability. Something else that it will also be considering is it's going to take the durability off of everything, regardless of it actually being life armor or not. So you need to be very careful that when you have life armor on, of your other armors, and make sure that mending will probably be the best thing for this. Let's talk about the banana peels. The banana peels have been completely recoated. You can break them, and you'll notice that it still tosses the items. You can actually turn them based on how you would want them to be placed. So if I place it to the side, it will now angle to what I have. The angle is no longer a launcher, but... Oh, I didn't mean to put the boots on. Yeah, so you'll notice it'll toss me around and kick me off if I slip on a banana. It is simply because I do not have something. There's two ways you can make yourself not slip on a banana. Either holding shift, so if you shift over the banana peels, you will also be fine. Or if you simply have the banana boots and you can walk on them, it will take away all of the banana effects. So now you'll be able to run on them. And this only applies to the boots, so if you wear the leggings, chest plate, or helmet, you will still fly around if you don't have those boots on. This is something that's written in the code, but also all of the effects and potions were completely rewritten. This is so that I could add custom potions with modded effects onto them. It's for the factor calculation data. So something that you probably wouldn't notice, but it's been changed. A small change that might not even be noticed, but the cherry log had a tag, and, well, my cherry log now makes my cherry planks. This is because me and Minecraft both decided to call him Cherry. So we've come to the smithing table. The smithing table has been fixed for the mechanized saw blade, bronze ingot, battle staff of terror, chilglail knife, eternal knife, obsidian claymore, resolute tempest knife, and finally, the venom glaive. Now, I feel like this is a little bit of an odd change, but it was the only way that I could figure out how to fix this. So if you have charcoal or coal dust, instead of putting them in a bucket, you can simply tap one of the water sources, and it will change that water source into into oil. So this is just one of the ways. It'll kind of infect the oil in a sense, but once you have that all placed down, you can then pick it up with a bucket, and you will have your oil bucket. Amulets have changed quite a bit, and a lot of people are used to making the locket with when you have something. But the locket is, lockets shouldn't necessarily exist in a sense. There is a locket, but there aren't locket types. So how do I make a locket? You're going to need 5 nuggets, and then you're going to need 4 ingots, and this is going to make a generic locket. The locket and the jewel do not mix together. That is because we will have custom crafting with that. So now we're going to be able to make our chains that we are used to being able to make. You still need 4. And then if you have 4 and a locket, you will now have an amulet. And this is now a generic amulet. And with the custom crafting, we're going to, like I said, it doesn't matter which one is before. You just simply need that effect, shift, and now I have the effect based on what I have. This one is the Amulet of Flamelessness, but this should be how all amulets now are crafted. Eventually this will put into the Sorcerer class, but like I said, for now all custom crafting will be put in the Normie class. I apologize, I have forgotten to fix this, but leather and vegan leather still look the same. This is quite unfortunate, I didn't mean to do that. But a change that I did create is if I look up the an item frame, you can create one with vegan leather and one with regular leather. So this is one of the changes that have been made, is that you can make an item frame from vegan leather. Going into a Bastion Remnant, there are the chests. All of the chest loot tables have been updated to 1.20, allowing you to get the smithing tables. I do apologize that this bug had come out where I didn't update the loot tables, but now you can get the 1.20 smithing table items. So when it comes down to the chiseled marble bricks, and the raw beef block. They both now have a loot table, and when it comes down to the raw chicken nugget ore and the raw beef ore, if I use a pickaxe without silk touch or hellstone, it'll just give me the raw chicken nuggets. If I use silk touch, it'll give me the proper ore. If I give hellstone, it will cook the chicken nuggets. If I have hellstone and hellstone with silk touch, it will drop the cooked variant. And so we can see the same things happen when I use the iron pickaxe. It'll give me the raw beef. This will give me the block. This will cook that beef. This will give me the the cooked beef ore. So these two loot tables have been updated to a serious amount to really just get down to this really tedious detail. Having a nice campfire down, you will now be able to cook raw bacon and raw chicken nuggets on the campfires. Is this a nitwit or a mysterious alchemist? Well, you can now be able to easily tell, as there is now a brand new texture. This has been given to me by one of the players in the community, so I do keep that stuff in mind. On top of that, the Mysterious Alchemist has been reworked to prevent duplication. I won't explain what the duplication was, but if you know what it is, you know, you can find it on your own. But I have reworked it to make sure that all the duplications that I have found have been taken out, so hopefully there was nothing that I missed. If you have a fluids and you have blocks, you will now once again be able to place blocks inside of the fluids. If you have a charm, you will able to use it in your forward and your offhand, as well as the amulets being able to be used in your offhand. The revival stone and even the sunstone can also be used in your offhand. So that is all of the offhand changes, but as well as charms are also part of the what'd you call it? Custom crafting. And so you can now make your little knight charm. Shadow creatures have been completely reworked in the sense that they actually have an entity shadow, and they actually have a little bit of this little pupil thing that will kind of follow you no matter where you go. And if he does end up hitting you, the health shrinkage effect is also infinite, so be aware of that as well. But this takes away the original F3 and B, but if we hit it anyways, you can see that this guy is basically actually the legit size of the shadow, basically. This one apparently was bothering a couple of people. I'm not too sure why I did it either, but the blaze cutter now has a attack damage of 2.5 rather than the remaining decimal that it was before. Having a blue spider lily, a rose, or a wolfsbane should all now be inside of the flowers mod tags, allowing you to be able to give them to the bees and also use them as breeding items as whatever tags that they would also be part in. I'm going to throw this in there because why not? The added icon was properly added to the mod. You should know what the icon looks like, so it should be on the mod now. Another one of the changes that we have is the textures for bacon and raw bacon have now been nicely lowered so that they will now be able to fit into the player's hand properly. A lot of the amulets are amulet of. The only one that was changed or inconsistent now is, bro, you gotta try this amulet. This is a suggestion, I liked it, so I said why not. Completing your remember to brush, you'll notice no longer has the extra space after it. There have also been added splash text. So all the Minecraft ones are taken out, and so it's only just the modded ones that I've gotten, such as in about 5 layers deep. I've got this from Christopher. It's almost golden hour, so I just need to get in position. Also said by Christopher. Ooh, I can make custom ones by me. Don't dance on the campfire from Jared. Feels good to be back from Huso. And many more. But it seems that that is going to wrap up for this hot fix that we have here. There have been a couple of many changes and stuff like that. Some of them are really important. My favorite one would be the fact that I am no longer dependent on GeckoLib, but everyone has probably their own favorite. but that is going to take care of this hotfix video. I had 3 weeks to make it, so it wasn't a lot of time, but I did squash a lot of bugs, and I did get it completed 3 days early, so it is released. Hopefully you guys like it, hopefully you notice all the changes, and I'm also excited to see the changes that we make in the future. So that's going to be it for me from this video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and without further ado, alright, here's the dealio. Don't butcher me if I kill this word. Rind Fleischetz Ticketier Runs Galben Nuber Trongs Fagets. That's the best you're gonna get out of me.